So what we're going to do is we're here to expose it, let people tell their story, and let everybody in the public see the horrors of the court system in Suffolk County, New York.
Long Island Backstory. Long Island's news alternative to the Newsday Cablevision news monopoly. With Chief Correspondent Gary Jacobs.
Hi, I'm Gary Jacobs, and welcome to another edition of Long Island Backstory, where we film in the Cablevision studios in Hauppauge, New York. Sadly, today is another horror story about the Suffolk County and Long Island family court system. It's not a story that we want to do, but unfortunately, this is what really got Long Island Backstory started, and it's really the purpose of the show is to expose how horrible the court system is. Today, we're going to do a story about a father, Patrick Rosene, and particularly about a specific support magistrate, Aletha Fields. Unbelievably, with all the support magistrates and judges, family court, Supreme Court, this was a judge that we're doing our third story on the same judge. That's just not good. And you know what they say, where there's smoke, there's fire? There's something wrong with this woman, because not only is this the third story I'm doing on her, I can't begin to tell you how many people have called me complaining about this judge, but they're so afraid to come on the show and talk about it because they're afraid of what she's going to do to them. We also are going to talk about the corruption and the bias in general in the court, and how it starts at the top with Chief Judge Hinrichs and trickles all the way down the court system. So today's guest is Patrick Rosene. Patrick, welcome to Long Island Backstory.
Thank you for having me.
So let's just start off with a little bit of history. So when did this all start? You got married?
We got married in 2000.
Okay.
And unfortunately, the marriage broke down. She filed for divorce in 2010.
Okay, so you married in 2000.
Yeah.
And how many children?
We have 3 children.
Okay, and the oldest is how old?
The oldest is 14.
And the youngest?
8 and 6.
8 and 6. Okay, so 6 years was the last one. So after 10 years, the marriage breaks down. Mm-hmm. Was there problems throughout the whole marriage, or?
It was on and off, but until she had an affair. Right. But that broke down. But I was trying to resolve the marriage, but she chose not to. So we went on.
So who filed for divorce?
She did.
Okay, so you filed for divorce, and let me ask this: going into it, because this is your first marriage.
Yes, it is.
It's your first divorce.
Yes.
So what do you think was going to happen? So your wife has an affair. Obviously, you're upset about it,
yes.
And you're a pretty calm guy. You know, you don't seem to me like you have anger, but I'm sure inside, you know, it had to upset you when you're seeing your family break apart. What did you think was going to happen when you went to court? Like, what did you envision the outcome was going to be?
Well, during Supreme Court, I had a lawyer, and we thought it was going to be just basically look at the assets and everything, divvy everything up 50%. I know I got to pay child support. I got no problem paying child support. You know, she's the mother of my child. I want sure my kids are being well taken care of. You know, but since the divorce was finalized, I believe in May. So then, come to find out, Judge McKenzie slammed me, so I was paying more than 55% of my check.
55%?
More than 55% is coming out of my check.
Wow.
So
let me ask, just to go back a second. So what do you do for a living?
I work for Verizon. I'm a field technician.
Okay, so you're not a rich guy.
No, I'm a blue collar guy.
Living, but
yeah.
you're not a rich man. And your ex-wife?
She's a school teacher, and she was studying to do her doctorate. PhD, and then superintendent. She wants to be a superintendent of a school district. Okay, so she's probably making a decent. She makes over 120.
So she's probably making more than you.
Way more than me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And with that, you get this court order. So I'm sure you had no idea that they were going to order you to pay 55%.
No, because when we got the judge, when I had the lawyer at the time, there was some issues going on. Then I found out what my lawyer wasn't doing properly. There was no discovery, no deposition done. So fine. So I started representing myself as a pro se. I brought it to the attention of McKenzie about why there was no discovery deposition done. So, you know, as a pro se, she said, take it up with the appellate court. You know, down the line.
But let's take a stop there for a second. So before she issued the order, you brought up the fact that you weren't properly represented.
Correct.
And she basically said, take it up with, which
she denied my whole motion entirely.
Which, just so you know, people have a constitutional right to good counsel.
Exactly.
I forget the wording of it. So you were denied adequate counsel.
Yes.
But The good thing is you brought it to the judge's attention
Yes.
before it was too late.
Exactly.
But it was more important to the judge
Yes,
to
get
just
at
be
it.
done with it and to get rid of you
Correct.
than it was to say, you know what, let's take a step back and let Mr. Rosene get his due process,
Yes.
you know, and let him be treated fairly.
Yes.
She just moved forward, and it's
just
too
moved.
bad, go to the appellate division.
Yes. And when I
Which
brought
is
it
a
to my,
joke.
when I brought it to my lawyer's attention, there's $75,000, which in amount of withdrawals over the 3-year span. So I brought it to my lawyer. She said, well, the judge never going to do nothing about that. I said, well, if it was a role reversal, would that be fair to a man?
But you know, either way, Patrick, I still think it should be, it happened, it
Yeah.
should be put on the record.
Yes, exactly.
Because even if that judge doesn't do anything about it, at least then you still can go back to the appellate division
Yes.
and say, hey, look, my lawyer said this happened in the court,
Yes.
so it's on the record. If you don't say it,
Yeah.
then the judge can't, I mean, listen, I'm not letting the judge off the hook. What
Yeah.
Mackenzie did was wrong. You know, she should have said, hey, you know what, this guy's rights are more important
Yes.
than following this procedure, and it's not too late. You know, but saying to go to the appellate division is a joke,
Yeah.
because, you know, you don't have the money to
Yeah,
to
it's
go to
hard.
the appellate
That's
division.
why she did it that way. It's hard
Right.
to go
She
to the
knows
appellate.
you're not going to be able
You
to
need
do
at
that.
least $30,000 to go to the appellate
Yeah, it's just
division.
hard to do it, and you
Yeah.
know, they don't even look at most of them anyway.
They don't
They
look-
just
they don't.
rubber stamp, and they
Yeah.
give you a form letter as to why it's denied. And I feel like they pick a
Yeah.
couple here and there to say
Yeah.
that they do. So Judge Mackenzie goes forward. So you represented yourself for the balance of the trial.
A balance of the trial, which, you know, then it was pretty much done for. So she signed her final order, but Mastriani put some extra stuff in
The
there.
Mastriani is your
ex-wife's lawyer.
ex-wife's attorney.
So he put some extra stuff in there, like camps, and she put arrears in there, arrears going back to when she signed her first order.
Now you say Mastriani put something in there. Did you sign a stipulation, or is this
No,
a
we
court
had no
order?
stipulation. There
Okay,
was
so
no
this is strictly a court order.
It should be a court order. He went for back camp.
So you're saying Mastriani asked for this from the judge, and
Yes.
the judge granted it?
Granted everything.
Mastriani, because I don't think you could hold Mastriani responsible, because his job was to get the best deal
Which is fine.
for his client, right?
Which is fine. He did a good job.
All right, so he did a
But
good job.
He did a
and-
good job, but as for the lawyer, she knows I'm representing myself, and I'm bringing questions about financial statements. It was never fair to begin with. Why would you add on all these arrears, put me like in $35,000 in debt?
Right.
As soon as she signed the order, I was automatically in arrears for $35,000.
Which is a bad,
Yeah.
bad situation, just
Yes.
emotionally, it's
Yes.
bad.
It's bad.
Because 35,000, you
Yeah.
know, that's almost a year's take-home pay for somebody.
It varies.
So you're looking at how am I going to get out of it? And when you're in arrears, you're always in trouble with child support enforcement
Exactly,
unit.
yeah.
And you could be taken care, and sort of psychologically, but not even just psychologically. In the courts, if you're in arrears, you're a deadbeat dead.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
people think of you as, but how are you a deadbeat dead? You just got the order. So before that, how was your wife living? Because she's making over $100,000 a year. She didn't need that
Exactly. I
money.
know. But, you know, as a father, you tend to want to make sure your kids are taken care of. You don't want to fight as much, but it got so overbearing that I can't really sustain my own living. I'm still staying over at my friend's house, sleeping on the couch, trying to make ends meet. So, you know, paying $35 in arrears, and also you get so much letters from the child support agency.
Right.
You get overbearing. So they was about to cancel my license.
Right.
So I said, well, I work for Verizon.
That's
I need
the
my
end of that.
license for driving and everything. So she looked at it and said, well, we're going to garnish your wages of $700 a week.
Wow.
So
On top of the,
yeah, well, for the arrears, for the child support, the order, and the arrears that was signed into law, into order. So $35,000, they didn't want to make that up, so I had to put that. So it came up to like $690 or something a week.
Wow.
So my check is usually coming in like $100. But how am I supposed to pay my personal bills, credit card?
so you're left with
gas?
how much?
$100 a week.
That's just insane. To me,
Yeah.
anybody with common sense,
Yeah.
that's not the spirit of the law.
Yes.
How do they expect you to live on $100 a week on Long Island?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. You know, it's unfortunate I still don't have a place of my own to live.
You know, I don't think we can gloss over that, because
Yeah.
you're glossing over it,
Yeah.
because you're a nice guy.
Yes.
But just think about that. This guy's making $900, should be taking home $900.
Yes.
You're willing to pay you. I'm sure if they said, hey, give her $300 a week for, and remember, she's making over $100,000.
Yes.
So it's not like
Yes.
she doesn't need the money, and you're, as you acknowledge, you're willing to
Yeah.
pay part of your kids. You're
I
being
got
more
no
than
problem with
So
that.
basically, I mean, let's look at the math. So
Yeah.
you're living on about $100 a week.
Yes.
And she's living on what? $2,000 a week?
$2,500 a week plus my $900.
$3,500 to $100.
Yeah.
How is that fair? You know, they say equitable distribution, what's
Yeah.
equitable, and people argue that, well,
That's
equitable's
another
not
story.
necessarily 50-50,
It wasn't.
but it's fair.
Yeah.
Is this fair, that you're living on 100 and she's living on
Nothing.
3,000?
Nothing. So when I took it to membership intake, I could saw the guy chuckle, like, I gave him my check. He saw it was $100. 1 week it was $71.
Wow.
So, you know.
But yet you still keep going to work, and I have
I'm
to
still
say,
going to work. I'm working for free.
But I give you
Yeah.
credit, because honestly, a lot of people who get into this position say,
Yes.
you know what, I'm done, I'm out of the game.
Yes.
I'm going to lose my job, and I'm going to go off the grid, I'll go on welfare,
Yeah.
and then they can't get their money, they can
Yeah.
pound sand. But you're really making an attempt. I know you're
Yeah.
trying to stop the problem,
That's where they,
but
that's
you
where-
are still going to work every day.
Yeah,
Which,
I love working.
but that's got to be hard,
Yeah.
getting up every day, knowing that you're taking home, what, $20 a day?
Pretty much.
5 days a week,
Yeah.
$100. You're taking home
Yeah.
$20 a day.
Yeah.
You'd be better off on welfare.
Hopefully there's overtime, but you know, nowadays there haven't been overtime at work. So I just do what I got to do. My parents help me out. My brothers and sisters help me out the best they can. And I got friends who help me out best they can. But $100 is kind of tough. You know, I mean, I'm behind my credit card bills. You know, if it comes to paying your credit card bill or putting gas in your car, and you want to buy something for your kids don't go ask for their parents. You can't tell your kids, oh, I'm giving your mother child support money. Go ask her. You can't say that. You got to do what you got to do as a father. You know, it takes you 2 weeks to buy a pair of sneakers for your kids.
Wow.
You know, because they're making $100 a week.
Right.
So it's
So let me ask you,
tough.
so if you just go to, can't you just, people looking at it, and I know it's not as simple, but I am sort of, it seems to me like you could go to support court and say, hey, look, this is not equitable. I can't live on $100 a week. It needs to be made, it needs to be changed, you know. Leave me with $300, leave me with $400, but so how are you, you're back in court now with this Aletha Fields who you got.
So this is where my problem got from worse to worse.
Worse to worse,
Worse to worse, sir.
If people can't believe it could get worse than this.
I you know, once I put in I went to the membership intake. I put in for a downward
So you went to where?
modification membership intake
Okay.
at the Suffolk County Supreme Court, and that's what the child support agency told me where to go, because I told them you're taking too much of my check.
Right.
So they told me go to membership intake. They gave you the form what you got to do, so I did that. They fill it out for you and everything. And I said, all I'm asking is downward modification, and I'm paying for insurance for the kids. I'm doing everything. Everything's coming out of my paycheck. They said, fine. So they issued a date. You know, then they give me a person named Magistrate Aletha Fields. So I was sitting there at work one day. I was talking to my friend, and somebody heard me say Aletha Fields. My coworker said, "Oh, you're screwed."
Yeah.
So I said,
That's
you know,
true.
to me, this is my first time going through divorce. I'm thinking, you know, everybody got their own situations. I got to give this person the benefit of doubt.
Right.
So I don't know who Aletha Fields. He said, well, you're going to get screwed anyway. So to me, I said, let me go see what this
By
is
the way,
about.
we all know that. Now that you know,
Yeah.
anybody says Aletha Fields,
Yes.
I tell them, you got to get away from her.
Yeah.
You are going, if you're a guy, you are going to get screwed, you're going to get abused. This woman is biased
Yes.
against men. She's unfair, she's nasty. But go ahead and tell your story
But to me,
about
my
it.
impression is like, you know,
So you
there's
sort of- you
other
didn't-
fathers
right.
that trying to beat the system.
Absolutely,
But
there's
to
two
me,
sides to every story.
you know, I work
you
for
know.
a good company. I got good insurance. I want the kids to be under my insurance plans because we got a nice, you know, health insurance. But when I went to went to see Aletha Fields.
Now, did you go in with an attorney?
No, I'm representing myself.
Look, how
pro
could you
se.
afford attorney? You take home
can't.
$100 a week.
$100
The
a
attorney
week.
charges $300 an hour.
Yeah.
So
So you know, I went to
pro se means that you're representing yourself.
I'm representing myself. I went there, and then my wife's attorney came with her counterpart. She filed. I had filed my order downward mod in September. Supposed to go see it in October, November. She said, "Well, I didn't properly serve her." Which she responded to me in email. She still didn't show up to court, so they gave her.
Which is foolish because she knew about it.
Yeah,
obviously.
she knew about it. So then, fast forward, she filed a violation order in December 8th.
For violation.
For violation, saying I'm not taking care of the arrears or child support.
Right.
So
Which you were getting out of your pay anyway.
It's coming out of my pay anyway, so I don't understand. So in January, we came before Magistrate Fields, and she looked at, you know, this is a violation order. I said, yeah, but I didn't know nothing about it, but I'm here to represent myself for what I put in.
Right.
She said, well, you need to go to legal aid to go get a lawyer. I said, why? She said, well, this is a violation order. You need to go see legal aid. So I went to legal aid. Legal aid asked me, how much you make? I said, well, I make roughly around $80,000. well, you should not be here because it's only for people.
So you don't qualify, but the reality is you certainly should qualify because they took all your damn money.
Yes, so if you understand the layout of the Supreme Court, you got to walk to the other side of the Supreme Court, then walk all the way back to the family court. I went to see the officer. He brought me back in. The officer said, well, you need to go back over there, tell him this is a violation order. So I had to get back out of the family court, walk back to the other side, and they said, well, you still don't qualify. I said, so where am I going back? And we went back there. She said, well, Patrick, we're going to adjourn this for another week, see if you get another attorney.
Well, where are you going to get the money?
Yeah, where am I going to get the money?
Pull out of the sky?
Yeah, so we came back again.
Which, by the way, you have to take off from work every time.
I took off from work. Every time we go there, came back from work.
Because they keep you for hours, so you can't plan on saying, hey, I'll be off, I'll come in 2 hours late. You're done for the day.
Yes. So then we came back to court, and she said, well, Patrick, see that you still don't have an attorney. You're going to keep coming here every day until you get an attorney.
Well, this is important. Let's not go over this. So she told you that if you don't get an attorney, you're going to keep coming back until you get one.
Every day.
Which you have the right to represent yourself.
Exactly.
And listen, if you don't have the money, you don't have the money. Listen, I could tell you, if you could get an attorney that was a good attorney to represent you for free, you would take it.
Exactly.
You don't want to be there standing there by yourself.
Which I find out it's their duty. If I can't afford an attorney, they have to give me a free attorney.
But they're saying you don't qualify. You should be able to afford. But listen, all they have to do is look and say, hey, the man's left with $100. Of course he can't afford it.
All I'm asking is just look at the math.
But really, you shouldn't need an attorney, right? Because to me, it's common sense.
Exactly.
I'm left with $100 a week.
It's common sense.
How can I live on Long Island?
I have my check with me. I got my bank statements with me. I got everything.
You work on the books. You work for a big company. They're not hiding anything. You're literally.
Yes.
But let me just sort of take a step back a second, because a lot of times people say, oh, this is the judge, this is the lawyer.
Yeah.
Your ex-wife, who you haven't said anything horrible about, she's the mother of your three. But why can't she knows you're left with $100, Patrick. Why can't she? I know she can, but why do you think that she's not just saying, you know what, I know this isn't fair, Judge. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
What is she so angry at you?
Believe it or not, I don't think she's angry at me. I think it's just her lawyer, or it's just part of the system.
But you know what? A lot of people use that. You're being kind and sort of making that as an excuse for her, Patrick.
Yes.
Because people tell me, it's like when somebody says to me, I say, look, you're taking so much from your ex, the guy can't live. And they go, well, that's what I'm entitled to because that's what the law says. Who cares what the law says? It's not right. Maybe the law says that you should only be left with $100 and she should be left with $3,000.
Yes.
Who cares what it says? The law used to say black people can't vote, women can't vote.
Exactly.
There used to be slavery.
Yep.
That doesn't mean it's right, Patrick. You know what?
True.
She's a human being, and she knows she can't live on 100.
Yes.
And listen, I've got to know you a little bit. I know you love your children.
Yes.
And she has to know you love your children.
I hope she does. Because,
so
this is all about the kids.
So if not, though, it's about putting money in her pocket. She doesn't need the money to raise the kids. If you told me, Gary, she just doesn't have the money to feed these kids.
Yes.
You know what? It's a different story. Mm-hmm. She's left with $3,000 or more, and you're left with $100. That's not fair. So I'm not asking you to defend her. I'm just saying, look, I'm sure she's going to watch this show.
Yes.
And if you're watching this show, you know what? Have a heart.
Yeah.
People who are watching it don't, a lot of times women will say, it's the courts. It's like, and you're saying it's the courts. Patrick, it's not the courts. She can say, you know what, Patrick, what happened between us happened between us. Pay me what you can.
Yes.
I have enough money, and let's just move on and have peace. But, so going back to Aletha Fields, so you come back to court, she's get a lawyer. You come back in the next day, what happens?
She said, that time, everybody was in the courtroom, she said, you're going to keep coming here every day until you get an attorney. And I said, excuse me. She said, she said what she had to say, and she did not let me talk. And she said, okay, you guys are excused.
And when were you supposed to come back? Next month?
Every day. So I came back. She gave me
in a row?
Yes, in a row. So the only person that got to spoke was Masciani. Masciani said,
is your ex-wife's attorney?
Yeah. She said, do I have to come back every day? He said, no. She said, no. I need your information. I'll contact you once Patrick gets an attorney.
That's insane.
I didn't get to say one word. Each time we go to court, I don't say nothing.
So you couldn't even say, look, speak. I'm never going to get one. I can't afford it.
Yeah, she would not let me speak to represent
Which is
myself.
common for her.
Yeah, so once Masciani and everybody left, so I came back the next day. I sat outside for like 2 hours. So I had to call in. I had to take a personal day from work. I came in, and the court officer asked me, do you have an attorney? I said, no, I can't afford an attorney. So he went back in, and she came back and gave me another those slip, the white slip. Every day for 7 days in a row, I went to court.
That's crazy.
7 days in a row.
I mean,
Violating
did you
my civil
complain
rights.
to anybody about this?
I called Judge Hinrichs. The second
No,
day,
Judge Hinrichs is the chief supervising
yeah,
judge.
chief judge. I looked up his information
Okay,
online.
so you called him, and I
called
got to
him.
think that he's going to be like, wow, that's first,
Yeah.
it's a violation of your rights.
Yeah, I got to I spoke to a person named Dina.
Okay.
So I said, listen, the magistrate Aletha Fields is having me to come every day. I know this is not right. This is violating my civil rights. And I filed a complaint. I just want to know if you received it, because I need this to be attended to right now.
Right, how long is it going to end? You going to lose your
If
job?
I'm going to lose my job or not. So she said, well, Chief Judge Hinrichs is going to look into it, but he doesn't respond to every complaint. So I'm like, but this is, I don't care what is on
But
his
even if he
desk right
doesn't,
now.
right, even if he doesn't respond
Yeah.
to it, he should look at it, then
It-
call her
exactly.
up and say, hey,
Yeah.
you made a mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
But I just wanted to get back to work.
Right.
Because I can't be doing this 7 days. My job is
course.
going to ask me, why are you taking 7 days off in a row?
Right,
Because this is
of course.
affecting me, and it's also affecting me with the kids. If you really want me to look for a lawyer, why you want me to come here every day
Right.
and sit here for
Yeah,
2
it's
hours
just
in the
counterintuitive.
waiting room?
It's to punish you.
Yeah, it's to punish me. I sit in the waiting room for 2 hours,
Right.
hour and a half, for the court officer to give me. I don't get to see her.
Right.
I sit outside with everybody,
Right.
and they send me out.
Yeah, it's punishment.
Yes.
It's punishment
So-
for not having a lawyer.
Yes, I did everything. I thought Judge Hinrichs would be the answer to this, because he's a administrative judge. He did not respond. He didn't return
He
my
still hasn't
call.
responded.
He still hasn't responded. I sent him 2 letters. I even time-stamped it downstairs. I did it internal mail, and I also faxed it over to him.
Right.
And I spoke to Dina, and they said they did receive the fax.
Because to me now they're culpable too.
Yes.
It's one thing when they don't know about it,
Yes.
but you made the chief judge aware that your
My civil rights.
civil rights were being violated.
Yes.
This is black and white. You're entitled to represent yourself.
Exactly.
And she's not letting you represent yourself,
No.
and she's abusing you
Yes.
by making you, I mean, what if you lost your job? You'd be in jail.
Yes.
Because you couldn't pay the other money.
Oh, and that's what she said also, to backtrack. She said, if you don't come here every day, I'm going to issue a bench warrant for your arrest. So that's why. So I spoke to the Chief Judge, Dina. I said, I presented to her. I said, can you help me choose? I said, I want to choose. Should I lose my job or should I go to jail? Which one you want me to choose?
Right.
And she had no answer for it. Because I said, because your magistrate, Aletha Fields, is making me come here every day. If I skip one day, if I don't show up for any day, she's going to issue a bench warrant.
Right.
So
Which means you go to jail.
yeah, I
They'll
go to
come
jail
pick you
automatically,
up
and I just
bring
lose
you to
my
jail.
job. So I was so stressed beyond this. I guess it was snow. I was shoveling snow and everything. I pulled the muscle in my back. It was beyond. My health was deteriorating because I didn't want to go to jail. I've never been in jail before. I've never been in the court system before.
Right.
So for her to affect me or my kids and my back, it's just my health was a problem. So I wasn't able to go to work because I kept going every day for court, and I had a cold. I was sick, and I kept calling the chief judge administrative office. It wasn't getting back to me. I was at a loss. I contacted News 12. I saw your documentation on the webs. I contacted everybody.
Right.
So
Well,
I
that's how
tried
you
to get
found
some
us.
help. That's how I found
through
you
one of the
guys.
shows that we did on
And I
this,
appreciate
right.
you guys finally got in contact with me. I sent emails to everybody.
Well, people need to see what's going on here, because I know what touched me, and
Yeah.
like I said, in fact, the week that you called me, 3
Yeah.
other people called complaining
Yes.
about Judge Fields. But what got me was just your passion. That and you said to me, and well, I'll let you say, when I said to you, what is it that you want? And it was basically, I just want to get divorced and go on and have enough money to live. I mean,
That's
I
it.
mean, Pat, if you're talking to the judge now.
Yes.
Or your ex, what is it that you want?
All I want is just to pay my child support order, which is, was it $432 a week, and let the kids be on my health insurance. And that's it. I don't want to hear no arrears of camp, nickel and diming for co-pays. She's supposed to pay half of my health insurance. I'm not even asking her for that.
Right.
But why you doing this nitpicking?
Right.
There's no need for us to be in a family court. You could make this go away. Just look at the math, look at my bank statements, and look at my check. Let's compare bank statements for bank statements
Right.
and check for check. You tell me which living you want to do.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure you would change places.
I'll change places anytime. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, she's living rent free and everything. It's just no.
But you're not begrudging her for it. And you're not
No.
even begrudging her for taking out whatever it is, 30% of your income.
Yes, yeah, but 30% of my income, more than 30%. You know, it's just 55%, which is against the law.
Right.
I don't know how they're able to process that.
They don't follow the rules in family
You
court
know.
here. Do you think that you were treated with respect, or that you were? Do you think the judge was biased, or what? Why is she treating you like? Why do you think she treated you like this?
Honestly, I would
have
say Magistrate Fields is just totally biased. She don't know me. and she don't know my ex-wife and attorney.
Right.
For her to treat me from day one, not to allow to speak in her courtroom, and just let Mastriani be a dialogue between them two, is unheard of.
Which is an issue with this judge. This is a pattern.
Yes.
And they sort of prey on the fact that most of the fathers that are in there don't get together. But when you start comparing the stories, they're all the same thing. They walk in, the day they walk in,
Yes.
the father's a bad guy because he's the father.
Yeah.
He's automatically the negative, and she doesn't let them speak, which is a problem because now you can't get stuff on the record. So if she's saying appeal it, well, you go to appeal it, and they look at it, well, it's not, you didn't preserve the record because you weren't allowed to speak.
Exactly.
And you get intimidated by this woman because she's a nasty woman.
She's very intimidating.
Disrespectful.
She's very strong. She's very forceful. So it got to the point is when she didn't want me to speak, I started doing my own research. I started writing papers for her recusal. I started writing papers why I had to come in every day to work. I need to explain to me why are my civil rights being violated. She never responded to none.
But what's interesting is as we wrap up the show, so what they did was, instead of really addressing the issue, hey man, we wronged this guy, what they did was, and she didn't recuse herself because that would be admitting that there's an issue. So they reassigned the case to another judge with no explanation.
No explanation.
Now they just let her off the hook. But what scares me, Patrick, honestly, and we're going to have to do a follow-up, what really scares me is that they gave you a judge, Isabel Boose, another nasty, biased woman. And what scares me is that they're going to say, you know what, we're going to show this loudmouth who caused us problems. And Aletha Fields is going to speak to Isabel Boose. And as bad as Boose is, she's going to make her do her dirty work. And that scares me, Patrick.
I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt.
I know you are. And, and you told me the other day when you got the order, you said, you know what, thank God I'm away from this woman. And now I hope I have somebody who's not biased and just listens to the facts. Because you're not a deadbeat dad.
I'm not.
You love your kids. You want to support them.
Yeah. And Aletha Fields wanted me to lose my job. And she wants me to turn into be a deadbeat dad. So I worked for Verizon for 18 years, and why would you want to take that away from me?
You're a hard worker. You're trying to see your kids.
Yes, my kids is my number one goal, and even my ex-wife and I divorced. I still want a good life for her. Because she's the mother of my child, I want everybody to be well taken care of, but not going overboard.
Right. No, I know you said at the beginning when we were doing the show prep, and you said to me, Gary, honestly, even if my ex-wife lost her job tomorrow and had no money for food, you said, Gary, I don't care about my kids. I'm going to take care of my ex-wife. She's the mother of my kids. You're a nice guy.
Yes,
you're not the deadbeat dad. But you're labeled as a deadbeat dad. You owe $35,000.
System, $35,000. I'm in arrears.
In arrears.
Everything.
But you're paying. You're left with $100 a week, and you're still a deadbeat dad.
I got negative balance on my checking account. Negative balance. They put
for a man who works.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever thought about just saying, you know what, I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to show up every day. Let them fire me. I'll go on welfare, and everybody can go pound sand.
That could have been a good reason why Aletha Fields put me in jail for 6 months for whatever reason.
Lose your job.
Lose my job. Then what? Then get dollar modification, but that won't help out. That won't help my kids at all. Right. For me, I'd rather work for free, and hopefully, I was hoping Aletha Fields was able to remedy this whole problem. But now it's up to Isabel Boose. I think that's her name. Yeah. She just got to look at the facts and
I hope she treats you fairly.
And I'm still waiting for Judge Hinrichs' response for my
Don't hold your breath.
I need to see.
And I just also want to note for the audience that we did send a letter to Judge Hinrichs' office, and we did get a response. We asked them if Judge Hinrichs would like to comment on why he didn't intervene, because a lot of times they'll say an out and say, we don't interfere with the case. But he is an administrative judge, and he's supposed to make sure that the law is being administrated. You're not saying about a decision. You want the law to be administrated in the court that he's under.
Yes.
That's all you're asking
That's all I'm asking.
And I promise you, Patrick, we will do a follow-up story. We're going to keep following this, and let's just hope that you go to Isabel Boose, you're treated fairly, you get a fair deal, and you can go on with your life, and everybody can live happily ever after.
I hope so. It has to be an ending somewhere.
Patrick, thanks so much for coming on, and I'm sorry for what happened to you. Okay. Gary Jacobs, Long Island Backstory. If you want to see our other shows that we did on Judge Fields, Aletha Fields, please look on Google. Google them, YouTube. We have 3 other shows on them. Like us on Facebook and follow us. Leave comments because they do look at it. Thank you for joining us.